I just realized that I forgot to talk to Koromaru and Metis after seeing Junpei's flashback. Unfortunately, we can't fully understand what Koromaru is saying. But if you talk to Metis, though... that's interesting. She used to... but she's losing it. But Metis still has that ability. That's interesting. Now it's time to head further into the Abyss of Time, but first, there are a couple of fusions that I am long overdue for. I was originally planning on getting either Okuninushi or... there was another... oh, that's it, Suzaku. Is a persona that also has Archidyne, but there is an even better fire persona we can get now. Also, Elizabeth has new dialogue. And that's the end of her new dialogue. She seems to know exactly who we're looking for, though. Hope she's not being subject to jealousy mechanics. Anyway, got quite a few personas that I can fuse away. Let's see the best way to get... okay, that requires Titania, and I don't want to give up Titania, but I can get Thor now. Kormokuten and Dominion can make Cert. Dominion and Mott can make Dionysus, who starts with Mind Charge, though, and getting Cert with Mind Charge would be pretty good. Oh, I can make Thor relatively hassle-free by just using Kingu and Orsir. Doesn't really give much in the way of skill inheritance for him, though, and Thor is a pretty powerful persona, so I'd like to get some good skills onto him. I'd also quite like Throne. Not only does Throne have decent stats, but Hammer On plus Hammer Boost is pretty useful. Oh right, Pavati I think does eventually learn Resist Fire, which is pretty useful, especially for passing down. I could go Thoth and Titania to make Cert. The problem is, without the compendium, yeah, I'd have to give up Titania, and I really don't want to do that because Titania is amazing. Oh yeah, I can also get Daisojo too. Now, I wonder if I can get a quad or at least tri-elemental Daisojo. That was something else I was thinking about. Oh, Evade Wind is actually great to have on Thor. And I just realized, I don't actually need... I was thinking, oh, if only I could get Auto Tarakaja, but I don't actually need that, because Thor eventually learns Auto Mataru naturally. Growth 1 would be pretty good to get on you, though. Okay, there we go. Growth 1, Evade Wind. I would like Masuku Unda, though. But Thor eventually learns a lot of skills that I probably want on him anyway, so I might need to make room for that. I'm gonna take this. Let's go Thor! And so, once again, we will fuse not Thor, God of Hammers, but... Thor, the God of Thunder! Oh, and I get the hard item too! The problem with that is I can't register you to the compendium, so I can't easily farm multiple copies of that hard item, but that makes you immune to electricity, so I'll definitely want to keep you because I'll give that to Yukari when I have the chance. Okay, so I have Thor. Next on my agenda is Cert. I can get Cert with Growth 1 too, which is not bad. Again, I would really like Cert with Mind Charge, but I can easily Mind Charge with a different persona and then switch to Cert, so it's not really that much of an issue not having Mind Charge on Cert itself. Let's get Cert. Now, if I'm really lucky, Cert will also have his hard item, which makes you immune to fire, which would be good for Mitsuru, but I probably won't get it. No, I did not get it. That's fine. I'll definitely take Thor's hard item, because having immunity to weakness on my main healer is great. Okay, so now I have Thor and Cert. Huh, fusing them gets Lilith. Wasn't Lilith a special fusion in the journey? I forget, but Lilith is pretty decent. Okay, so I guess here we've got a few choices. I don't really want either Thoth or Taraka, so I could get either Throne, but Throne is probably outclassed by Daisojo anyway, because Daisojo is the best Hammer user in the game, easily. And Pazuzu doesn't seem to be that great compared to some other things. Okay, I actually think I'm gonna pass on getting Daisojo now. It doesn't seem like I can really reliably pass down 4 elements to it, and I don't want to give up Titania if that's the case. So, instead, as a bit of a poor man's substitute light user, I'm going to fuse 3 personas I don't want and get Throne. Though I'd kind of like you to inherit Mediarama. Okay, Mahama Mediarama, I'd kind of like Evade Fire too, but I don't know, I can easily fuse personas that are completely immune to fire at this point. So there is Throne. You'll be quickly replaced once I get Daisojo, but for now, you'll do as far as a light user is concerned. So the Throne of Ruin from that last boss sells for a lot of money. Guess that makes sense, it is a giant throne. Just after we find that Claymore, we can get an even better sword for Junpei with Deathbringer, but do we really need it? I don't think so. Get a very good sword for Mitsuru. Yeah, the next step down for her isn't that amazing, so I might as well grab that, even though it's really, really expensive. Wow, that's actually a very good bow for Yukari compared to what she currently has, but I can't really... Actually... Do I have 3 Supreme coins from the Supreme Hands that I can sell? I can afford the Great Bow now. Or I could get this for Koromaru, which is not a bad idea either. Might actually get that. I think I'm actually pretty much fine on armor for the time being. Though I will need to maybe restock my revival beads, and I also want to check what I can get in the antique store right now. Might as well get another Balm of Life. Might as well get another one of these. You can never have too many of those. Actually, I should have got more of these a long time ago. Might as well get some of these too. I can get another Mega Dollar on Gem too. So for my party going ahead, I'm going to be bringing Metis, because I haven't really used her that much lately, so we're going to take you, and I'm going to bring Mitsuru and Akihiko. I'm also going to change your accessory, I don't think I really need that anymore. I'm going to give you the Earth Badge. And I might give Mitsuru the Sorcerer's Mark. Power Enhancer is not bad either, but... Yeah, I'll give you the Sorcerer's Mark. So, back into the Abyss. We've only got 3 doors that are left, so let's take on the first one. We're still going through subsections of Hokkaido in terms of the mythological theme naming here. This one here is Ptolemy, I think that would be pronounced. So, this is named after Ptolemy, the governor of Jericho, who murdered his guests. So, this one is for traitors to guests. I remember reading things about how violating hospitality was a really, really big deal back in medieval times, and presumably Renaissance too, because of this being from Dante's Inferno. So we're back here, and Fuka's starting to get a bit genre savvy about these areas. Everything has to be related. So let's move on. Thankfully we have Metis with us. I could just go through this floor, but I want to see the enemies first. There don't seem to be any showing up yet, though. Okay, there's one. It's a small shadow, which probably means it's a single enemy. Let's see what we got here. we have... I thought it would be you.
There's one enemy. Attack.
The Adamant Beetle. It has plus attack and minus special attack, which is probably good for it. In fact, speaking of beetles, yeah, Adamant is... Well, actually, I've seen Jolly Heracrosses probably more often than Adamant, so... I was about to say Adamant is like the only nature you'd want in a Heracross, but probably not, actually. Now, I'm pretty sure this thing is weak to ice. Actually, no, it's not. It's weak to electricity. Right, got that wrong. But, yeah, okay, thankfully Metis has strike attack, so I was worried that that power charge would be useless. So it can buff its defense, it has power charge and heat wave, and it's weak to electricity. I thought that it was weak to either Zeo or ice, but, I got it wrong which one it was. Seems to be taking a lot of damage from us, though. Don't even think Metis will get a chance to use that power charge attack. Interesting how she never used power charge in the last fight at all. I guess when you're on a assigned target, you just attack it relentlessly. You don't even think about using abilities that buff your attack. But yes, Metis definitely does have power charge now, which may help going forward.
My skills haven't
Speaking of help, nice level up there, everyone. I don't think we really needed grinding after the last area. The enemies here do approach level 50 sometimes, but I think our levels are pretty much okay for this. So we have the Apostate Tower and the Ardent Dancer. I guess I'll scan the... Actually, wait a minute. Let me see who's the higher priority. Apostate Tower is weak to fire. It does drain electricity, so maybe it's a better idea to scan these. I know that the Dancer is, it's only weak to dark. So, even if I do scan it, my party members aren't really able to do much about it. Oh, hey, I'm actually on Mott right now, but that's only for the Aura skills. So I can actually try and do something about this Dancer. For some reason, Mott's all transparent there. And there we go, one down. Oh yeah, you have Herculean Strike as well, so that plus Power Charge should do a lot of damage. It's also going to be helpful because there are a few enemies here that are actually weak to strike attacks. Main reason I brought both Akihiko and Metis here. So, it's weak to fire and it uses Zeo attacks and it drains electricity, which is the main reason I wanted to scan it, because otherwise Akihiko might be dumb. And it can poison you, but really it's not all that bad. We can probably just rush this thing down. I don't even think we need to waste SP for fire. That could be... Well, Mitsuru's poisoned. I think I did buy some Disc Poison, though, so this should be okay. That weapon looks really, really dangerous. Okay, let me see if I do have Disc Poison, because I might not, because I thought I had Disc Rage for the last boss fight, and turns out I didn't. I have Disc Charm. I actually don't have Disc Poison. Well, since this is only the first floor, if I find an exit point, I'll just leave and come back in. Forgot that I didn't have Disc Poison. You better catch up here, Mitsuru. I know you are poisoned, but you'll have to deal with it for the time being. This is a dead end, but I might as well fight this. And what have we got here? We have... Okay, the Dancer. Actually, everything in this fight I haven't scanned yet. So here's the Immoral Snake, Devoted Cupid, and we have the Ardent Dancer again. Let's go ahead and scan the Ardent Dancer. Now, I know that the Devoted Cupid is weak to ice, and the Snake is actually one of the weakest enemies on this floor because it has healing, but it's weak to Pierce, which you're guaranteed to have because Igus is the main character in this game. I think I'll just scan you later. It's also weak to light and dark. And yeah, there's the Sorceress mark that I gave Mitsuru there. And there's that strategic skill that she's using. Strong against Strike, has Sexy Dance, and it's only weak to Dark, so that can be a problem. The Cupid, I'm pretty sure... yes, that is weak to Ice. The Cupid's really not that much of a threat. It's pretty much the exact same as many of the other Cupids we've seen. That, on the other hand, could be bad. Thankfully, it missed everyone. Like Mitsuru's charm attacks usually do. Now, the Dancer does resist that, but the Cupid's probably going to be taking a lot of damage. Well, it took decent damage from that. So, I think I'll just try and... Okay, firstly, scan. And now I'll try and just put it on you. As I was saying, though, the Cupids don't really have much that's different from other Cupids we've seen before. They heal, they cure status, and they can hit with charm. Really, that's all. They're pretty basic as far as enemies in this floor go. And they're actually weak to that, but I won't proceed with the all-out attack, even though that'll cause Mitsuru to... Or it will just die, and, yeah. I was going to say that'd cause Mitsuru to take double poison damage, because, yeah, you take poison damage every time you attack, rather than every turn. There's Divine Grace, and I did look it up, and it does strengthen Restorative Magic, which is actually pretty good with mid-diorama, so I might want to get rid of Rebellion. It did decently in that boss fight, but I don't think I really need it anymore. And let's actually go ahead and show that off. Can't really see the exact amount of HP that's healing, but it's probably a lot. Oh, okay. Didn't expect to be seeing you so soon. What's interesting is that after the last Purple Shadow was Tiny Tanks, this one is also tanks. But it's much bigger tanks. Oh, these are the Ferrari-looking tank. I don't know why, but I keep thinking of Ferrari cars when I see these. Just the emblems on them and the fact they're red. Anyway, Scarlet Turret. These things are pretty bad. They block everything physical or repel it outright, and resist fire, and I don't think they have any weaknesses. So this could potentially be a really, really bad fight. I don't think you repel light, and I have a Hammer Boost, so I could try to just kill off some of you like this. Well, you block it, but at least you don't repel it. And that's probably a bad idea, Metis. Yep, they're immune to all that. Oh no. That's also a bad idea. There we go.
Be careful, slashing attacks won't work.
No instant death. Oh, it is actually vulnerable to Pierce, and it does have its own Pierce attached. It also has Power Charge. I might end up having to run from this fight if it goes particularly badly, because, yeah. If they start Power Charging,
Please be careful.
I don't really have any easy way of killing these things. So Cert has Deathbound and Argodyne, you have Vicious Strike and Zero Dyne. You don't really have much in the way of Mart attacks. So I guess the best I have is Titania's Magarula.
It doesn't seem... I need your help!
Fighting this enemy may have been a bad choice on my part. We'll see how this goes. Well, we're now defense debuffed. Please don't power charge. Well, you're going straight for Arrow Rain.
Senpai is unconscious.
Multiple hits, and... oh, that's...
I can't hold out much longer. Can you manage without me?
No, stay in, please.
I don't want to be a burden.
You're not, don't worry. As long as you keep healing us. And I need to get out of here now. I am not fighting these. Okay, do I now have anything that's immune slash... Nope, nothing's resistant to Pierce. Where's Aigis' old persona when you need it? Yeah, let's get out of here, please don't. Good, the escape didn't fail. So, yeah, I would much rather fight the small tanks than those things. And I now have to use 2 revival beads. Well, on the plus side, Mitsuru's poison is gone. That's something. And I can just go and use Mediarama here to fully heal everyone. Okay, I can see stairs there. And there's nothing here. Okay, yeah, I'll just keep going after I fall this enemy. But this might be something new, so I'll show it anyway. It is something new. Those things actually look kind of cool. The Magical Magus.
Give me a sec. I'll scan the
Which I
target.
think I do remember from... Weren't they a boss in the journey? I think they were a boss in the journey. And these things are weak to fire, null, ice. I guess they're your pretty typical Magus type enemies. Magus enemies usually use ice and tend to be focused on magical attacks.
Good choice. The enemy is
Like,
down.
almost all of them are ice users.
Titania.
Actually, I could have tested out Cert here. The problem is Cert's weak to ice, so maybe not, actually. And I will not all-out attack because I want to at least show off the scan.
I've been waiting for this.
You'll have to wait a little longer, I'm sorry. Because the wait and flee commands look very similar on the menu, I sometimes find myself accidentally running from enemies that I'm trying to scan. But anyway, yes, so Buffalo, my Buffalo, you're pretty much a weaker version of the boss we just fought, so you're really nothing special. I was kind of hoping you'd do that. And yeah, you're forced to just use your regular slashing attacks. And let's just rush you down. I am liking this regenerate on Igus, though.
I can sense your determination.
So, Taraka again. I think there are some better personas that can show up in Shuffle Time here, but we just haven't really seen any of them. And I think I still have Taraka, so Taraka would be pretty useless to get. Anyway, nothing more to see on this floor, it seems. Let's head down. This area doesn't have a lot of floors. The boss is on floor 8, so we actually have less ground to cover than we did in the last place. Which is... I mean, I suppose I'll take that, especially after the absolute nightmare that was the last boss. I'm just going to check around here, just in case there are any rare chests or anything like that. Nah, I think I'll just head down to the next floor. Or I can... Well, there is an exit point here, but Mitsuru is no longer poisoned, so I no longer need that. This is a pretty complex floor, actually. Of course, you know, won't always be that way, because floor layouts are completely random. It's a blessing and a curse of this game, and of randomized dungeon crawlers in general, because sometimes the stairs will just be right there. I think I mentioned this before, but in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon speedruns, that used to be a blessing and a curse, and then they learned that you could just RNG manipulate to have a guaranteed... So basically, you always know what the layout of all the floors are in the speedrun, so... Generally, speedruns are done that way. And we have something new. This thing is also kind of a not that tough enemy, because it's weak to everything physical. As you will now see.
Now's our chance.
And you were... fire, okay. Oh yeah, you use Zeo, don't you? So in fact, I might actually want to try out Cert here.
2 enemies left.
That's pretty expensive at this point, although it's a pretty good skill.
I need your help.
Burn in the flames of Muspelheim!
Good choice. The enemy is down. All right, sister. Let's get.
I actually wanted that to be a Fire Emblem Heroes reference, and then I realized that it's actually called Muspel in that game rather than Muspelheim. But Heim, I think, just means place, so...
Tough one.
Oh, come on, let's see if this thing actually survives long enough to get scanned.
The enemy's down. Let's finish this.
It's dying either way, because if I say no, she'll just hit it again, so unfortunately, no scan for you. I'll have to scan you later, but I do know from experience that thing repels electricity. Akihiko may have tried that in a practice run of this. Okay, so yeah, it's in the middle of the group of 3. There is an experience card. Feels like the enemies here aren't giving that much in the way of experience, though. And actually got you before you saw me, surprisingly. A single
Only one
Magus.
enemy. You surprised it.
Once again, burn in the flames of Muspelheim!
That's it. The enemy is down.
I've been waiting
I mean, it's
for this.
probably less efficient than using Agilao overall, because one hit from a fire attack and an all-out attack kills it anyway, so really,
Good job.
I can get better results just by using Agilao from Titania, but oh well, it's fun using Cert. Well, that was a weird shuffle formation.
My skill
Okay,
has-
good, you're leveling up. Guess I'll just fight this one thing and then I'll head on to the next floor, although you're probably still just a single... Actually, no, you might be something that we... Nope, you're another singular Magus. And I just realized something. Not that Akiko's skills have improved, but that I bought Mitsuru a new weapon and I forgot to give it to her. Well, I seriously didn't give her any of the Sin Blades I found either? That's dumb. Oh, if I'd known I had +4 magic though. Because this is powerful, but I like the +4 magic on Mitsuru. I'll go with this for the time being. I'm sure I already mentioned this during the journey, but Main Gorge is the name of a weapon in Yes, it's Tearing Saga. That, yeah, you are purple, I thought you were, but so let's ignore you. But it's the name of a weapon in Tearing Saga that gives you a ridiculous amount of evasion, and that was part of a silly thing that I did with a bunch of Draco zombies, because they have AoE breath attacks in that game. You just put a character with really high evasion near them, and they all just end up hitting each other. It's pretty funny. Another single Magus! And stop rushing now!
My skill level has increased.
Okay, looks like a big horde of enemies up there, and a slightly smaller horde of enemies that seems to be guarding a rare chest, so let's go and get this. There are a few enemies that we haven't seen and or scanned yet.
There are 3 enemies. Be careful.
Oh, I guess I haven't scanned the Cupid yet either, but let's scan the Immoral Snake for now. And I'm gonna have to use Mott here, because that dancer... I was gonna say I want it to die quickly, but it's really not that big of a threat. Although it would be annoying if somebody got charmed, so might as well just try and lure it. I thought it would miss, I just kinda had a feeling. Yeah, you don't yet know that that Cupid is weak to ice, even though you did hit one with ice earlier. But you don't remember because I haven't scanned this enemy.
It has multiple weaknesses.
So yeah, weak to Pierce and weak to both Instant Death elements. It does have Life Drain and Spirit Drain, and also Argydyne, which is... I guess that can be kind of scary to people who are weak to that, like Mitsuru, I just realized. But being weak to Pierce, which is an element you're guaranteed to have because of the standard element of your leader, it makes it a pretty easy enemy to kill. Yep, thank you, Tentarafu. Actually did something good for once.
There are 3 enemies left. Well, man, 2 more enemies. Well done.
I'll scan you, but you're not likely to survive for much longer anyway. And then you just crit.
Alright, good job.
Because... Really? Wow!
Last one.
I guess is just going crazy today, isn't she? And no scan for you.
You're unworthy of my time.
I'm just going to show the full animation there because Igus was awesome in that fight, so the fight deserves an awesome finish. Let's see what we've got here. Lightning Armlet. Prevent you from being shocked. Okay, then. Wait a minute, isn't that normally Taka Mikazuchi's hard item? I think that's normally Taka Mikazuchi's hard item, so I guess you can just find hard items in gold chests too at this point, which is interesting. Okay, 6. I'll actually just call those item cards because I think that was 1. No, not even close to 1. Oh well. Because they don't just give weapons, they also give, well, items as well. Another gold chests! So let's see what we have here. Another lightning armlet. Maybe this floor is just the floor for hard items that make you immune to various status conditions. Oh, Mitsuru fell behind, so I had to do this. This has actually happened to me quite a lot on the way to bosses, I just haven't really shown it much on camera. But at least it's a new enemy. This would be the Pistol Mother. Thankfully, this is your first time using that in a long time, and hey, it actually hit.
Give me a sec.
So this thing is weak to ice, it drains and electricity and repels wind, but I want to get the scan in before I do anything else.
Won't miss.
Seems to have a lot of HP though.
I failed to finish it off.
It's weak against ice.
Oh, it doesn't have really,
skills.
anything that it can help us with while it's charmed. But yeah, that's a lot of health.
couldn't finish it off.
Wait, you have ice. Why aren't you using it?
Only one enemy left.
I just realized then that I should have been putting her in Orgia mode more often.
I need your help.
I'll remember to do that. I intentionally didn't use Orgia mode on the last boss because I did not want to risk the massive defense drop she gets when she overheats. You can probably see why I did that, but here against regular enemies I should probably put Orgia mode back on. That's kind of weird, they're not using any Bufu attacks.
Still alive.
I guess they just think that it's not a threat while it's charmed, so they might as well not waste their SP. Which is understandable.
If you get into trouble, run.
And it should be gone now. There we go.
My will is unfailing.
I actually can't fully hear what she's saying there. It's either like my will is unbending or my will is... It's like my will is unsomething. I hate it when that happens. Party member immediately gets stuck in another fight. That has also happened on my way to bosses before.
Watch out.
That's an
There
interesting
are
combination of
more
enemies.
My
Okay, hopefully Mitsuru isn't going to get caught up in battle again. But I was just thinking about that lightning armlet. That'd be a lot more useful if there were enemies in this game that had thunder rain. Okay, finally Fuga's being a lot more specific about where the strong presences are, but I know where they are already anyway, so don't really need her to tell me.
The enemy's weak against ice.
So here's the scan on the Cupid. Like I said, they're pretty standard Cupid fare. Okay, that does get you Ghastly Wail, but the chances of that actually working... Actually, Virus Breath I don't think is going to be that helpful. Oh, you have growth too. That's interesting. That's going to be good fusion fodder. I didn't actually get a chance to see what the next skill that Mott gets is, so let me just quickly check. Mudo Boost. I definitely want that on you. Everyone else seems to be leveling up pretty easily. Yeah, we're all at pretty good level. The bosses, I think, are giving us so much experience that it didn't really matter that we were a little bit under level for them. We're getting caught up pretty quickly, and I'm... Oh, no, that's a dead end, so I have to try and fight you. Let's see what you are. There is one type of enemy that we haven't seen yet, but this is definitely not it. I think I'll take the Persona just because I want a bit more fusion fodder and I also want to try and make Daisojo. Okay, we have a chest here. It's quite a lot of yen. And let's just keep going. If we don't see the enemy that I'm looking for, which is the Death Twins, by the way, we'll have more chances later, definitely. Of course, it could be the Death Twins now. It actually is, wow!
There are 2 enemies.
That was pretty good. I also haven't scanned the Jotun of Evil yet. But the Death Twins. The Death Twins do actually have Moodle, so having Mod equipped is definitely a good thing. For now, I'm just gonna hit you,
Found the enemy's
and...
weakness.
Well done.
Wow, those things are weak. I mean, I know I have Auto Tarakaja up at the moment, but still... Yeah, that is a bad fight to be using electricity against. So yeah, Death Twins, they have Mamudo and Stagnant Air, but they are weak to Strike, which is you and Akihiko, so good thing I have you here. And down.
There's an opening.
Tough one.
I'll try and scan the Jotun, but it probably won't go through because it will probably die quickly.
Enemy to go.
Gigantic Fist. That
Last
barely did
cry.
anything.
Don't let your guard down.
Give me a sec. I'll scan the target.
I mean, I highly doubt you're going to survive until the scan goes through.
Damn you.
Yeah, you are going to die regardless, so... Another Taraka, which I already have. But I'll definitely take more experience. I'll have to see what everyone's levels are like after I leave this place. Just to see if anyone's getting a little bit behind or not. I feel like everyone is going pretty well in terms of levels right now. If you guessed that Jotun would die before the scan went through, you were correct. Again. Yeah, those things are pretty weak as far as a late game enemy. Well, I wouldn't consider this late game. This is like late mid game-ish. Uh-oh. Let's find the stairs quickly, because the Reaper shows up very, very fast on these floors. I could try and go for chests, but no, I think I'll keep going. And this should be the save point floor. Yes, it is. So here's the save point, here's our warp back, and the boss is down there. I don't think I'm ready for the boss just yet. This boss is actually kind of cool, because it takes an enemy from the journey that was one of the worst enemies in the game and actually makes it a boss. But anyway, I think I won't save here for the time being. I think I'll just head straight back. I probably want to use a different party for this boss anyway. And so I'll be saving here, and I'm kind of sorry if I found this area was a bit boring. The enemies weren't that strong or particularly interesting, and it's another reused, like, graphical assets area. I don't know, I didn't particularly like this area, but hopefully the boss will be more interesting, so I'll see you for that. First, I just want to check in with Fuka and see how we're doing in terms of levels. Yukari seems to be a little bit behind. I'll want to bring her to something soon. Koromaru's also a little bit behind. Okay, so Yukari and Koromaru are the characters that I should be using next. Anyway, saving here, and I'll be back for the boss.